Math Gad.
Welcome back everyone to today's video in which we're going to be learning how to build or make inverse and contrapositive statements from a conditional. So we're going to basically be seeing these two formulas we see here for the inverse. So not P, then not Q, and then this one, which is not Q, then not P. So these are going to be the formulas for the inverse and the contrapositive. But we're also going to be taking a look at how we are actually going to build those statements and actually evaluating some examples. So let's begin. So guys, the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is actually inverse statements, right? So we're going to see that we have an original statement, which we have hypothesis is going to be P, and the conclusion, we call it Q, right? So if the hypothesis, then the conclusion happens, right? Now, in order to find out the inverse, we're going to first find the negation of the hypothesis, not P, and of the conclusion, not Q, right? So if we have a statement, like for example, the first one, so we're going to be taking a look at this one. If two whole numbers are not even, then their sum is even, right? So when we see that, we are going to first of all find the negation of the hypothesis. So if two whole numbers are not both even, because we have to find the negation, and then we're going to also negate the conclusion, then their sum is not even, okay? And that is how we find the inverse. So the inverse is going to be, if two whole numbers are not both even, then their sum is not even, okay? Now let's try evaluating the conditional and the inverse statement. So in the conditional we had, if two whole numbers are both even, then their sum is even, and that is actually true. 2 plus 2 is 4, and that is even. 6 plus 6 is 12, and that is even. 8 plus 10 is 18, and that is even. So this is going to be a true conditional. Now let's take a look at the inverse. If two whole numbers are not both even, so the two numbers cannot be even, one or both, their sum is not even. But we can find a counterexample for that. So 3 and 5 are both not even, and we add them, we have 8, but their sum is even, and the conclusion said that it was not. Because we have found a counterexample, that means that this statement is false, okay? So that means that the conditional is true and the conclusion is going to be false. So let's try another one. So the second example, which says, if today is a weekend day, then tomorrow is Monday. So again, we have the hypothesis, if today is a weekend day, and the conclusion, then tomorrow is Monday, right? Now remember, in order to make the inverse, we're gonna write down the negatives. So if today is not a weekend day, then tomorrow is not Monday. And that is going to be our inverse for this statement, right? Because we're putting not. So if today is not a weekend day, then tomorrow is not Monday. Okay, now let's try evaluating these two. The conditional, if today is a weekend day, then tomorrow is Monday. Well, let's say that today indeed is a weekend day and it's Saturday. The next day, so tomorrow, would be Sunday, not Monday. So that means that this is actually a false statement. Now on the other one we have, if today is not a weekend day, then tomorrow is not Monday. Okay, so if today is not a weekend day, that means it is a weekday. So it's either Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sorry, I skipped one. Now, if it's not a weekend day, which is one of these five, then tomorrow is not Monday. That's true, because the only way that the next day is Monday if it's the day before is Sunday. So if today is not a weekend day, then tomorrow is not Monday. Since Sunday is on the weekend day, that means that this is actually true. If today is not a weekend day, then tomorrow is not Monday. That is correct. Now guys, we're going to be learning how to do contrapositive statements, and their formula is actually pretty similar, but in this case, P and Q, not P and not Q, are going to switch, right? So we're going to see that the original statement is going to be not Q, then not P. So, and this is how we find the contrapositive, right? So now first we're going to find the negations, and then we're going to switch them. So we have the same two examples, right? So if two whole numbers are both even, then their sum is even. So then we're going to see the not and the not here. And then we're going to switch this one to this side and this one to this side. So the contrapositive is going to say if the sum of two numbers is not even, then those two whole numbers are not both even, right? So we're going to take a look at that. If the sum of two whole numbers is not even, then they are not both even, right? And now let's take a look at the next one. If today is a weekend day, then tomorrow is Monday, right? So if today is not a weekend day, then tomorrow is not Monday. But now we're going to switch it because it's not the inverse, but it's the contrapositive. So if tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not a weekend day, right? And this is how we find the contrapositives. Now let's try evaluating them. So the first contrapositive, if the sum of two whole numbers is not even, they are not both even, right? So as we can tell from the first contrapositive statement, if the sum of two whole numbers is not even, right, then they are not both even. That is true. That is actually a true statement. Because if two whole numbers the sum of the two numbers is not even, that means it's odd, then that means that at least one of them is going to be odd, okay? Because we know that if they're both even, then we have an even number as the sum. In the second one, we see if tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not a weekend day. So let's say that tomorrow is not Monday. Let's say tomorrow is Sunday. Then today is not a weekend day. That is actually false because today is, according to what I just said, today is Saturday. So if tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not a weekend day. It's actually false. Because if tomorrow is not Monday, it's Sunday, then today is Saturday, but today is a weekend day because Saturday is a weekend day. So we have found a counterexample. So that is basically it, guys. There's a lot of practice and logic required in order to build the inverse and the contrapositive statements and actually to evaluate them, as you can see. You practice and rewatch the video if you need to see those formulas or those evaluations again. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Check out these other videos to improve your math skills, and make sure you click that subscribe button to make the community grow. Follow ohmathgad in its social media accounts, drop a like, a comment below, and see you on the next one. Bye!